2024 Fellowship Induction Ceremony of the Canadian Academy of Nursing. I am Valerie Gordisa, CEO at the Canadian Nurses Association, and I am delighted to be your host this afternoon. I would like to thank you for being with us today to join in the celebration of the 2024 Class of Fellows, celebrating exceptional nursing leaders. Please welcome Elder Aline Laflamme, who joins us today to welcome you all to this space and offer a blessing. Over to you, Elder Laflamme.
Thank you. Hello, my dear relatives. I have to tell you that this little delay in getting started reminds me of nurses trying to get the IV thing into my wobbly old veins. Sometimes it takes longer than they expect, but we're all here, and I have retired. This probably will be my last time to share an opening prayer with you. I have three beautiful young grandmothers that are going to replace me. So it's a very deep honor to be with each and every one of you. I think most of you know I love nurses. Nurses are healers. And what an honorable choice that is for a profession. And when people, nurses, stand above that already very high bar, we are dealing with people with exceptional skills and dedication. So very happy to be here with you. I'm coming to you today from the entirely unceded territories of the Tsleil-Waututh Nation, the Musqueam Nation, and the Squamish Nation here in Vancouver. I'm grateful to live my life and conduct my ceremonies here on their unceded territories. And we give thanks for our nations all across Canada, wherever you are. I want to share an opening prayer with you, and I can only pray in my way, and it may be different from yours. So I invite you to join me if it's comfortable. If you have another way to pray, pray your own way. And I was a very stubborn atheist for a long period of time, and somebody telling me to pray didn't sit well with me. So if prayer isn't for you, then we'll just invite you to hold a good intention, because that's really what we're doing when we're praying. So thank you, dear ones. Nasi notse komota masi. Thank you, grandmothers and grandfathers, for this very beautiful day you've given us to walk here on this Mother Earth. We thank you that we have air to breathe. We thank you we have water to drink. We thank you we have this beautiful grandfather sun shining down on us, giving us light so we can see where we are and where we're going, and help us to use the gift of light to see all the beauty around us. Help us to use the gift of light to notice wherever we look, we're staring right straight at one of our very own relatives, and help us to remember how to treat our relatives in a good way, each and every one of them, our four-legged relatives, our winged ones, our relatives that swim and live in the water, our relatives that crawl in and on the earth, all the rooted ones, the mineral ones, and us two-legged kind. We are the foolish children of this Mother Earth. We ask a good blessing for all our relatives. Most especially, we ask a beautiful blessing on these dear ones that are being honored and acknowledged today for the tremendously hard work, the dedication, the gifts, and the skills that they've chosen to share in their communities. We ask a good blessing as well for the territories each one of us is in, and for all of our people. We want to pray right now, especially for our chiefs and our world leaders, to remember their responsibility to be like good nurses and to uphold and protect and enhance life, to protect the life of all things in creation for this generation and the generations coming. Help our chiefs and world leaders remember their responsibility in this regard. And help each one of us to be good leaders, to walk with love in our hearts as best as we know how. Help us to walk with honor in all that we do. We pray to be respectful to all things in creation. And we ask for a lot of compassion for ourselves and one another because we all need it. Bless each heartbeat here on this Zoom business and all of our people. We pray especially for those that are struggling in any kind of way, living on the streets or in addictions or in hospitals or in any kind of difficulty they may be having. We pray for good things for all of our relatives across this Mother Earth. Bless each one that has put together this beautiful ceremony. And Masi Cho, thank you for this good day you've given us. All my relations, Masi Cho. Thank you. Masi.
Thank you, Elder Laflamme, for this beautiful blessing. We are so grateful to have you with us today to celebrate the accomplishments of those we are here to honor. I would now like to present a letter from Her Excellency, the Right Honorable Mary Simon, Governor General of Canada, to mark this occasion. You'll see it on your screens. Give you a few moments to read it. Wonderful. I see that some people have finished reading, so we invite you to go and read the full letter, which is posted online and will be posted in the Fellows Community of Practice if you would like to download it. Now I'm delighted to hand over the meeting to CNA President, Dr. Kimberly LeBlanc, to provide opening remarks for this afternoon.
Merci Valérie. Bonjour à tous, je m'appelle Kimberly Leblanc et je suis une infirmière autorisée et la présidente de l'Association des infirmières et infirmières du Canada. Je suis ravie d'être votre hôte pour l'événement de très spécial aujourd'hui. Dans un premier temps, je m'adresse à vous à partir d'Ottawa et reconnais que être sur le territoire non cédé des territoires des nations autochtones algonquines et des peuples Anishinaabe, et je les reconnais comme le propriétaire traditionnel et le gardien de ces terres. Au Canada, nous vivons, apprenons et travaillons sur les territoires autochtones traditionnels. Nous tirons tous les avantages directs des politiques d'expansion et de l'assimilation des peuples autochtones qui ont le plus pendant et qui ont eu depuis la période de colonisation et de la Confédération. La Haïti reconnaît que le territoire sur lequel chacun d'entre nous participe et sa région est celui et demeurer celui des différents peuples des Premières Nations, Inuits et Métis. Cette déclaration est faite en reconnaissant que les infirmières et infirmières ont la responsabilité de prendre des conséquences graves et dévastatrices de la colonisation sur le peuple autochtone actuel et passé. Et nous comme de répondre au appel de l'action de la Commission de vérité et réconciliation du Canada. Nous avons également l'occasion unique aujourd'hui d'introduire la 5e promotion des Fellows de l'Académie canadienne des sciences infirmières. Aujourd'hui est un jour exceptionnel pour les soins infirmiers au Canada. Chacun de vous a fait preuve de leadership et d'un engagement haut par de faire progresser la profession infirmière au Canada et dans le monde. As a fellow myself, I understand what a tremendous honor it is to be inducted into the Canadian Academy of Nursing. It represents the recognition of years of dedication and hard work. And I know firsthand the pride and responsibility that comes with being part of such a distinguished community of nursing leaders. I'd like to start by acknowledging that I'm joining today's meeting from Ottawa that is built on an unceded Anishinaabe Algonquin territory. The peoples of the Anishinaabe Algonquin Nation have lived on this territory for millennia. Their culture and presence have nurtured and continue to nurture this land, and I recognize them as the traditional owners and custodians of these lands. I'm delighted to welcome everyone who is here with us today virtually from across Canada and beyond. Today marks our induction of the 5th class of fellows and gathering to recognize outstanding leadership in the nursing profession. I'm pleased to welcome the 2024 class of fellows of the Canadian Academy of Nursing with the new credential of FCAN as they continue their nursing excellence across Canada. Today is another exciting landmark for Canadian nursing. Each and every one of you has displayed outstanding leadership and commitment to advancing the profession in Canada and globally, and we're also very proud of you. Thank you to the founding members of the Canadian Academy of Nursing and to the over 600 members who have joined as premium members in these inaugural years, and to this year's class of fellows as you are welcomed as one of the 149 fellows of the Canadian Academy of Nursing. I will now turn it over to CNA's President-elect, Dr. Tracy Riesling, to say a few welcoming words. Tracy?
Thank you, Kim and Valerie. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and pay tribute to the traditional territories of the people of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, where I am privileged to live and work. This includes the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprising the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and the Stoney Nakoda, including the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Goodstoney First Nations. The city of Calgary is also home to Métis Nation of Alberta, Districts 5 and 6. I am happy to welcome special guests who are here with us today, our incoming fellows and award recipients, and all of your family and friends, our board of directors, academy members, and leaders from many of our partner organizations across and beyond nursing. After the induction of each group of honorees, we will invite you to raise a big cheer for these leaders, wherever you are today. Now, do not be afraid to cause a ruckus. If you need to explain yourself, you can simply say that you're cheering on nursing. So after each individual being celebrated here today should have received a printed copy of the program, and the 2024 fellows being inducted will also have received a certificate of induction as a fellow. Valerie, let me turn things back to you.
Thank you, Tracy. It's now my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Sally Thorne, the chair of the Canadian Academy of Nursing Advisory Committee. Dr. Thorne has been a steadfast leader and advocate for the advancement of nursing, and her contributions have played a crucial role in shaping the Academy into what it is today. Sally, we are incredibly grateful for your continued leadership and dedication to the Canadian Academy of Nursing. Your unwavering support has been instrumental as we build this important institution and foster the growth of nursing leadership across the country. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Sally Thorne.
Thank you so much, Valerie. And I'm speaking to you today from the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Coast Salish people, including the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh, to whom we continue to listen and from whom we continue to learn. The CNA launched this academy in the fall of 2019 with the goal of creating Canada's first comprehensive hub of leadership development for all regulated nurses. You can appreciate that the timing was perhaps not ideal because 2020 came immediately afterward, and we've lived through some interesting times. But this academy really has been designed as a whole to educate, empower, and support nurses to lead, advocate, and innovate, and to influence public policy that leads to sustainable change. And you who are being honored today are not only members of this academy, but now about to be inducted into the ranks of its fellows. And I think we're up to 164 when we add you today. I'm pleased to welcome the Canadian Academy of Nursing Advisory Committee, who I hope are here with us. And this committee oversees the rigorous process that ensures that all fellows of the Academy have delivered an enduring impact on nursing and healthcare. And we have been so excited by seeing the work that you've done. The members of this Academy are Dr. Harrison Applin, Dr. Claire Betker, Dr. Chantal Cara, Dr. Lori Gottlieb, Dr. Jacqueline Keith, Diane Martin, Dr. Ruth Martin Meisner, Dr. Lynn Nagel, Dr. Siobhan Nelson, Dr. Shahi Rose Premji, myself, and Dr. Colleen Barco. A sincere thanks to all of you of the Canadian Academy of Nursing Advisory Committee for your ongoing service, contributions, and for your real dedication to this cause. And now to the 2024 class of fellows of the Canadian Academy of Nursing. On behalf of all of us in the committee, I am thrilled to welcome you into the community of Academy Fellows. Fellowship represents the highest honor for Canada's most accomplished and influential nursing leaders. The 15 nurses being inducted today reflect a wide diversity of nursing leadership careers. Each of you, in your own way, has clearly demonstrated a sustained impact on healthcare and society, exemplifying the power and value of nursing excellence over a considerable career. Each of you has demonstrated enormous service to society through your work, and we look forward to the continuing contributions you will make, not only in your own professional activities, but also through service to the Academy itself. Congratulations to you all. I'm incredibly excited to be able to celebrate today with you. And now I'd like to hand it back to the CEO of Canadian Nurses Association, Dr. Valerie Gerdisa.
Thank you again, Sally. Thank you for your contributions as chair of the Canadian Academy of Nursing Advisory Committee. Everyone's volunteerism and commitment to the Academy is truly appreciated. To the incoming class of fellows gathered here today with their colleagues, congratulations on this great accomplishment. We are so pleased to be able to celebrate you and your achievements and impacts today, joined by your family, friends, colleagues, and other nurse leaders who stand by you. We are so thrilled, truly, to celebrate you. Before I introduce today's keynote speaker, Dr. Kathleen McMillan, I wanted to share the impact that Kathleen, also a fellow, had on my own career path. In 2000, I spoke with Kathleen about completing a graduate student internship within the Nursing Secretariat at the Ontario Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care when she was our first provincial chief nursing officer in Ontario. I was completing my graduate degree at Stony Brook University to become a clinical nurse specialist, nurse practitioner. And with Kathleen's support and encouragement, I believed it was critical to understand how the policy and political world envisioned advanced practice nursing. My Stony Brook faculty advisor enabled me to turn one of my clinical placements into a policy placement, and I was privileged to spend 6 months with Kathleen. She called me the Trojan nurse as I enlightened policymakers and politicians about the value proposition of nurse practitioners and advanced practice nurses. A relationship began, and we collaborated again while she was at Health Canada First Nations Inuit Health Branch. And then 13 years later, I served as an assistant deputy minister and senior nursing advisor for the province of Alberta. I am but one person that a current fellow had a profound impact on my life and career choices. Thank you, Kathleen. And when I look at each of you, many of whom I've crossed paths with, you have made impacts in my journey. Each of you can reflect on the fellows or mentors that impacted you and your career path, and each of you should be immensely proud of the contributions and impacts you have made within our profession and for the health of Canadians. It is my absolute pleasure to now introduce Dr. Kathleen McMillan, a distinguished nurse academic and leader in Canadian healthcare. Dr. McMillan has held numerous prominent roles throughout her career, including director of the School of Nursing at Dalhousie University and transforming how government understands regulated nurses as Ontario's first provincial chief nursing officer. Her contributions span clinical practice, education, and health policy. Among her many accolades, she is a fellow of the American Academy of Nursing and the Canadian Academy of Nursing. And last year, she received the Jean Mance Award from the Canadian Nurses Association. Today, Dr. McMillan will deliver the keynote address welcoming the 2024 class of fellows. Dr. McMillan has pre-recorded her remarks and sends her regrets for being unable to get on, but will be joining this meeting this evening. Over to you.
Chers collègues, welcome, new fellows. Bienvenue à tous. Good afternoon. First, I would like to thank the Academy and the Canadian Nurses Association for inviting me to provide the keynote address to this year's induction ceremony. And I want to congratulate each of the impressive colleagues who are being inducted this afternoon. Welcome to the Academy. I am speaking to you from the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people of Prince Edward Island, or Ebectwick. I must say that I was initially reluctant to accept the invitation because I am so depressed about the current state of the nursing profession in Canada and globally. We continue to see human resource mismanagement with little or no accountability. Witness the recent report that Canada spent $1.5 billion on private agency travel nursing staffing last year. We know that the majority of those taxpayer dollars did not go to nurses. They went to shareholders. This is an indication that we are not investing resources to improve sustainability of the public single-payer system and access to professional nursing care. The current perceived shortage of nurses is a mirage and an excuse. We have enough nurses in Canada. They simply are unwilling to commit to working for some public sector employers. Failure to address this fact and that employment settings need to make major changes in how they employ and deploy health professionals bodes poorly for the future when we do predict a shortage of healthcare personnel to emerge. We cannot recruit our way out of this mess, either with the current puppy mill model of increasing nursing school enrollments or by poaching internationally educated colleagues from countries who desperately need them. But despite the gloom, I can assert that there are pockets of good news. There are functioning teams with strong, competent clinical leadership, where nurses are doing all that they can to make things work for patients and where they remain committed to their organizations. The question is how to identify these examples of positive deviance and scale them up. The release of the Nurse Retention Toolkit from Health Canada and the Office of Dr. Lee Chapman is a good example of identifying and sharing concrete examples of evidence-informed strategies that promote nurse retention. However, as Nightingale once said, reports are not self-executive. We must therefore consider how to move the Health Canada Nurse Retention Toolkit report into action. This is where leadership comes in. You are all leaders within your spheres of influence, and you are being inducted to the Academy because you have demonstrated that you are leaders and that you have made a difference in your context of practice. But it is hard to do the heavy lifting of supporting clinicians in the day-to-day challenges of practice and advocate for change as an individual, even if you are working within the C-suite. Nursing leaders have not failed. Forces are in place that have resulted in the current state. When we recognize it and we name it, we can address it. Some of these forces lie within the nursing profession itself. Men at some time are masters of their fates, said Shakespeare. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings. Now more than ever, nursing needs leadership that is coordinated, linked, and focused on a common agenda and goals for the profession and its role in improving health outcomes for Canadians. We can and must move our colleagues in practice from a position of just reacting and coping to a position of real influence for systemic change. It will not necessarily be the Academy or its fellows per se that does this work going forward, but all of the fellows, supported by the network of colleagues and ideas that form committed and active nursing groups. Each of us is positioned for expanded impact going forward throughout the rest of our careers and our lives, and we are stronger together. We all stand on the shoulders of others when we achieve. We all need support and connections, coalitions, and comrades. We need academic practice partnerships that validate evidence-informed policy and support best practice. This is where professional nursing organizations have been effective in the past and indeed are a beacon for the future. What does the professional association do for me is a common question. Why should I belong? And pay the membership fee is the implied question. Again, quoting Nightingale, the association is the members, and the members are the association. The association is as strong as its members, and its ability to advocate for the profession is dependent on its members in terms of numbers, collective capacity, and commitment. The return on investment demands more than just your membership fee. If you are not at the table, you are on the menu, is a quote from Washington of unknown origin. Professional associations for nursing are under significant stress right now. The change to voluntary membership from the historic representational regulatory model in Canada has been destructive in many jurisdictions. Some Canadian provinces no longer have a professional association, and membership in the CNA reflects this. Despite that, our century-old association is doing its best to maintain its vital national profile and government relations activities. The Academy is relatively young, and it began building just prior to the onset of the global pandemic. Now, with 149 fellows as of today, and about 600 premium members, it is positioned to begin to market the intellectual capital of its members as a resource to the profession and to Canadian healthcare. What can you do as leaders and Academy fellows to strengthen professional associations and related advocacy and representational functions for nursing at the jurisdictional, national, and global level? Remember that all of these organizations started from scratch with a small group of committed people who recognized the value of professional associations a century ago. Many international nurse leaders were Canadians. Core purposes and mandates, the what, do not necessarily need to change, but the how may need a transformation to ensure viability and relevance for a new generation of nurses. I want you to think about structures, processes, and people. What structures are currently impeding the sustainability of professional associations in Canada? How can these be mitigated, changed, or even supplanted? What processes are operating that prevent nurses from being more engaged in a professional association? How can these be addressed so that nurses see the value of professional advocacy beyond that offered by the unions? and what people are in your circles who can be engaged in this conversation and in strategizing. What partnerships might be nurtured that can be mutually beneficial. As individuals, you have already demonstrated your capacity to make a difference. As individuals, you have what it takes, and that is why you are here today and being welcomed into the Academy as a fellow. What could you do with a broader coalition, a vibrant, credible, and adequately resourced professional association at your jurisdictional and national level? How can the Academy play a role in building connectivity, coalitions, and collaboration, and ensure that our impressive collective brain trust supports a place for nurses at the decision-making tables? Yuval Harari, who is known for his being the author of Sapiens, Homo Deus, and Nexus, said, "If you want to change things, join an organization. One person alone cannot do much, but 500 people together can make a difference." CNA and the ICN are crucial to the future of the profession. The Academy can play a critical role in helping them to adapt to the changing world around us. Again, remember, if you are not at the table, you are on the menu. Ernest Hemingway said in For Whom the Bell Tolls, "Today is only one day in all the days that will ever be. But what will happen in all the other days that ever come can depend on what you do today." It's been that way all this year. It's been that way so many times. And given the current global socio-political context, a lot depends on the integrity of the nursing profession and those who comprise it to be the conscience for their countries, as Francis Hughes said at the ICN Congress in 2016, and on how we model our commitment to humanity and to social justice in our own careers. In my experience, sometimes moments arise when the world around us looks to nurses to act, and we do because we can, because we have the knowledge, the skill, and the courage to do the right thing. The well-being of Canadians depends on what you're going to do with your newly awarded status as a fellow of the Canadian Academy of Nursing. Ask yourself, where do we go from here? Your induction is not a culmination, but actually it is a beginning. Congratulations on your well-deserved induction into the Academy, and accept the challenge of making every day count. Just being a member of the Academy and of the CNA is not enough. Think globally, act locally, and build a legacy of leadership. Merci beaucoup. Thank you. Miigwech. Wellalin.
Thank you, Dr. McMillan, for those thought-provoking and inspiring comments. Now it's my privilege to move to the next part of our day, which is the Canadian Academy of Nurses Fellowship Program, Recognition and Celebration of the Most Accomplished Nurses in Canada. And this is representing the highest honor for Canadian nurse leaders. So today we are pleased, as you've already heard, to be inducting 15 nurses into the 5th class of fellows of the Canadian Academy of Nursing. And I have the great honor of being able to begin the introductions. So our first inductee, Dr. Denise Bryant Lucoses, is a professor and Alba DeCenzo Chair in Advanced Practice Nursing in the School of Nursing at McMaster University. She's a passionate registered nurse with 43 years of experience in advancing the impact of the nursing profession. Dr. Bryant Lucoses is recognized for outstanding impact on research, policy, and education to strengthen the health system integration of advanced practice nursing roles nationally and internationally. Her extensive research program has informed and improved APN regulation, credentialing, education programs, role implementation, and outcomes. Provincially and nationally, Dr. Bryant Lukosis has pioneered novel initiatives and research to support the development of the oncology APN workforce and transform cancer care. To promote uptake of research evidence, she has created and used innovative stakeholder engagement and knowledge translation strategies in advocating for and leading to improved policies in support of APNs. Globally, she has improved and built capacity for APN research by educating and mentoring graduate students, postdoctoral fellows, and early career researchers and advanced practice nurses. Denise, welcome to the Academy. Our next inductee is Dr. Sandra Carroll. Dr. Sandra Carroll is professor and vice dean in the Faculty of Health Sciences, executive director in the School of Nursing at McMaster University, and associate scientist at the Population Health Research Institute. Dr. Carroll is known for her research in patient engagement, patient-reported outcomes, and implantable cardioverter defibrillators, including the development of a patient decision age for primary prevention ICD candidates. With a career spanning clinical practice, research, and academic nursing leadership, Dr. Carroll continues to impact practice, policy, and education as a senior academic leader at McMaster University, School of Nursing, as well as provincially and nationally with the Council of Ontario University Programs in Nursing, Ontario Primary Health Nurse Practitioner Program, and the U21 Health Sciences Group, Nursing and Midwifery. She is an associate scientist in the Population Health Research Institute and a member of the European Journal of Cardiovascular Nursing editorial board. Sandra, welcome to the Canadian Academy. Our next inductee is Dr. Lee Chapman. Dr. Chapman is Canada's Chief Nursing Officer, a role that she has held since 2022. When the position was reinstated after a decade-long absence of nursing representation in the federal government. Dr. Chapman is committed to advancing the nursing profession in Canada to ensure equitable access to quality care. As CNO for Canada, she provides strategic advice to Health Canada, plays a convening role on key nursing issues, and represents the federal government at public forums. Over the past 20 years, she has gained a deep understanding of nursing by working in both frontline and clinical leadership capacities. And in addition to her role as CNO for Canada, Lee continues to work as a registered nurse at a community-based consumption and treatment site in Toronto, where she provides harm reduction services and frontline care. Lee, welcome to the Canadian Academy. Notre prochaine inductée, c'est Dr. José Côté. Dr. Côté est reconnu comme une pionnière dans le domaine des pratiques infirmières innovatives en santé numérique. Des travaux émergés à le concept TAVI, traitement, assessment virtuel infirmière et enseignement, pour soutenir les personnes vivant avec un problème de santé chronique. Dr. Côté est une professeure titre en sciences infirmières à l'Université de Montréal, chercheuse au Centre de recherche de CHUM et un titre de chaire de la recherche de la nouvelle pratique en soins infirmiers. Inspirée par la raison d'être infirmière, tout en évoluant dans une ère d'avancée technologique, elle a développé un nouveau concept de pratique infirmière au monde virtuel. Une douzième des prix de distinction honorifique qui en sont l'urge de ses contributions. Engagée dans la formulation de la relève infirmière, elle a été une mentor des étudiants de partout dans le monde et a mis sur pied le revenu international bilingue sciences infirmières et pratiques en santé. José, bienvenue à l'Académie. Our next inductee is Dr. Cheryl Kuziak. Dr. Kuziak has an unrivaled passion for public health nursing with an equity focus and advanced practice through a combination of direct care, clinical leadership, administration, and research. She brings a unique combination of practice, scholarship, and service. She has a proven record of teaching at academic institutes and moved into academia full-time in 2022. Her teaching interests focus on population and public health, community nursing, health equity, policy, and leadership. Dr. Kusiak has been instrumental in numerous projects to advance community health nursing practice at provincial and national levels. She has a long history of involvement with Community Health Nurses of Canada, including as past president. Cheryl has leveraged her education and experience to drive local, provincial, and national evidence-based change, conversation, and policy. Cheryl, welcome to the Academy. Our next inductee is Sandra Isson-Bruneau. Throughout her career, Sandra Isson-Bruneau has had two passions: older adults and the nursing profession. Her commitment to both has helped advance clinical practice and transformed our health system. Sandra has collaborated with partners at the micro, meso, and macro levels of our health system to improve care. She has cared for hospitalized older adults and built clinical programs to improve care outcomes. She has led regional seniors health systems planning and policy change initiatives to build system capacity. In 2016, Sandra established an integrated regional specialized geriatric service program to improve population health across the region. In addition to her work in geriatrics, Sandra has been a member of provincial, national, and international committees supporting advanced practice nursing, and she has planned APN conferences, influenced key documents, and connected APNs across the country and the globe. Sandra, welcome to the Academy. Notre prochaine inductée était Dr. Emily Perron. Dr. Perron est une professeure de l'École de sciences infirmières de l'Université d'Ottawa et coprésidente de l'Observatoire infirmière. Elle est une pionnière du domaine émergent des études en soins infirmières intensifs. Grâce à son vaste programme de recherche universitaire et son travail politique pour l'Observatoire infirmière, elle change la façon dont les infirmières et infirmières envisagent leur pratique et leur profession de sortie à faciliter la réalisation de leur pouvoir éthique et politique. Financée par le Conseil de recherche en sciences humaines du Canada et les instituts de recherche en santé du Canada, elle a publié un grand nombre de travaux révolutionnaires sur des sujets tels que l'organisation des identités et pratiques individuelles et collectives, le rôle du gouvernement dans le soin auprès de la population captive ou marginalisée et la déconstruction de la protection des symptômes connaissances. Emily, bienvenue à l'Académie. Colleagues, please join me in congratulating our newest fellows of the Canadian Academy of Nursing. I'll now turn this over to Tracy to present the next group of fellows. Tracy?
Thank you, Kim. It's my honor to now introduce the next fellows of the Academy for 2024, beginning with Emily Jenkins. Dr. Emily Jenkins is recognized for her contributions to advancing youth and community-centered research on mental health and substance use. Her expertise has informed school and community programming, drug policy, and public health responses aimed at strengthening mental health and reducing substance use harms among youth. Her textbook, A Concise Introduction to Mental Health in Canada, has shaped mental health education across the country and promoted broadened conceptualizations of the issues and potential solutions. As the founder and scientific director of Wellstream, the Canadian Centre for Innovation in Child and Youth Mental Health and Substance Use, she brings the leadership and visibility required to meaningfully shift outcomes for children, youth, and their communities. Emily, welcome to the Academy. Tess Croker. Tess Croker's expertise and passion for mental health have extended beyond nurse educator and leadership roles to that of recognized advocate, particularly for his contributions to psychiatric nursing in British Columbia. Tess Croker, a registered psychiatric nurse and director of nursing at Douglas College, is known for advancing nursing education and advocating for psychiatric nursing as a distinct nursing profession within British Columbia and across the country. Tess was one of the first leaders of the Registered Psychiatric Nurses Council of British Columbia and one of two inaugural psychiatric nurse directors who formulated the Nurses and Nurse Practitioners of British Columbia, NNPBC. Tess maintains representation at numerous policy tables, addressing the emotional labor of nursing and nursing retention, and does research on barriers to health services caused by substance use stigma. Tess, welcome to the Academy. Next, Mary Lou Martin. Mary Lou Martin is a clinical nurse specialist at St. Joseph's Healthcare Hamilton, an associate clinical professor at McMaster University, whose contributions have advanced the profession in forensic and mental health nursing. As an advanced practice nurse, Mary Lou works as a practitioner, consultant, researcher, educator, and leader. She is engaged in practice and consults on psychotherapeutic strategies, ethics, and clinical supervision. Her clinical interests include therapeutic relationships, alternatives to restraint, trauma, and risk assessment. She has been on the development panels for 2 best practice guidelines, and she is known internationally for her work and as a co-author of the Short-Term Assessment of Risk and Treatability, or START, a guide for the dynamic assessment of strengths and vulnerabilities. She is a former president of the Canadian Clinical Nurse Specialist Association. She is a researcher with numerous publications. Patient-centered care, collaboration, and innovative practices highlight her commitment to excellence. Mary Lou, welcome to the Academy. Next, Maria Teresa Elizabeth Martin Poots. Dr. Martine Poots is a professor at the Lawrence Bloomberg Faculty of Nursing, and she holds a Tier 2 Canada Research Chair in the care for frail older adults. Dr. Poots is known for her research focusing on improving health and care for frail older adults, including those with cancer. Her research focuses on using geriatric assessment to improve health outcomes. She has completed with her team the first Canadian trial of geriatric assessment for older adults starting cancer treatment. This study is one of the studies included in the ASCO Geriatric Oncology Guidelines. She is actively involved in education for nurses and other allied health professionals with regards to geriatric assessment and geriatric oncology. Martine, welcome to the Academy. Next, Eric Rankin. Dr. Eric Rankin is a settler Canadian and ally to Indigenous communities who lives and works in Hamilton, Ontario. I'll stop trying to combine those words. The traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee peoples. Eric is a nurse practitioner and works at the Dei Dwadadesna Aboriginal Health Centre in Hamilton, Ontario, and teaches in the Ontario Primary Healthcare Nurse Practitioner Program. Eric has worked intensively with First Nation communities in urban and isolated fly-in settings for almost 2 decades. A recognized clinical expert dedicated to serving Indigenous peoples, learning from them, and co-creating culturally appropriate and sensitive approaches to health, he has initiated and implemented multiple programs and policies towards the development of Indigenous health inequity initiatives and the role of the Indigenous patient navigator locally, nationally, and internationally. His leadership in this work has been recognized in various ways, including the Nursing Now Ontario Award in 2021 for making and inspiring an important contribution to Indigenous health equity. Eric, welcome to the Academy. Dion Sinclair. Dion Sinclair is an accomplished certified health executive who is currently the Vice President, Clinical Operations and Chief Nursing Executive at the Center for Addiction and Mental Health. A visionary leader with a passion for transformative change and innovation, Dion has honed her skills in creating a climate that fosters innovation and develops new approaches to achieve strategic outcomes. Throughout her illustrious career, Dion has been celebrated for her unwavering high energy, strong work ethic, and perpetually positive attitude. This spirit has created an environment of enthusiasm and excellence in all her endeavors. Known for her ability to motivate and inspire others, Dion is also a sought-after motivational speaker, sharing her insights and experiences to empower individuals within and beyond the healthcare community. Dion's notable awards include the University of Western Ontario Arthur Labatt Family School of Nursing Nursing Alumni Award of Distinction in 2021, Fanshawe College Distinguished Alumni Award Health Science category in 2022, and Dion was also one of 100 accomplished Black Canadian women honorees in 2022. Dion, welcome to the Academy. Next, Donna Lynn Smith. A professor emerita at the Faculty of Nursing, University of Alberta, Donna Lynn Smith is widely respected as a servant leader and mentor to many prominent Canadian nursing leaders and scholars. Donna's advocacy for safe staffing and workplace improvement is documented in her years of administrative practice, university teaching, and as a patient safety advisor with the United Nurses of Alberta. As a senior nursing leader during the 1980s, she funded clinical nurse researcher positions and demonstrated that during a nursing shortage, nurses were retained in a knowledge-intensive and supportive environment. She was an invited speaker at the first two conferences on nursing administration in Canada. Her leadership, scholarship, and advocacy accelerated development of specialized programs for older people in Alberta and the influence of the Alberta Association on Gerontology, of which she was a two-term president. Donna Lynn, welcome to the Academy. And last, but certainly not least, Michael Villeneuve. For 45 years, Michael Villeneuve has been a leader across all domains of nursing, culminating in serving as CEO of CNA from 2017 to 2022. Called to leadership roles throughout his career, Mike has taught and managed teams in neurotrauma settings, coordinated a multi-site research unit, served as the first nursing policy lead in Canada's Office of Nursing Policy, led the Canadian Nursing Advisory Committee and popular Toward 2020 initiative, served as executive lead for the National Expert Commission, and wrote the first Canadian text on nursing and public policy. When he was CEO of CNA, membership was open to all regulated nurses. Governance, member services, and branding structures were overhauled, and a new accreditation program was launched. During this time, CNA also submitted the winning bid to host the ICN Congress in 2023, and what a time that was. And the Canadian Academy of Nursing was established. Over 22 years in senior policy roles in Ottawa, Mike has helped strengthen the visible policy, advocacy, and government relations work of nursing, demonstrating the potential impact of nurses on public policy. Michael, welcome to the Academy. And colleagues, please join me in congratulating all our newest fellows to the Canadian Academy of Nursing. Congratulations.
Wow, what an amazing group. Congratulations again to the team. To everyone with us here today, we are all very honored to present to you the 15 highly accomplished nurses who are now officially the 5th class of fellows of the Canadian Academy of Nursing. You're an inspiration to all of us, and it is our great pleasure to welcome you to the Academy. I'm now going to hand this back over to Valerie.
Thank you, Kim. So on behalf of everyone at the Canadian Nurses Association and the Canadian Academy of Nursing, I want to recognize the contributions of the amazing nursing leaders who are celebrated here today. And I would like to thank all of you who attended today's virtual ceremony and had patience with the technological glitch. Today is another historic day for Canadian nursing. I look forward to working with all of you to advance nursing leadership in Canada. I know CNA will continue to look to our new and existing Academy members for advice and expertise in developing CNA's advocacy and public policy positions, further impacting the profession of nursing and our healthcare system. And I think we can all agree that we need to answer Dr. McMillan's call. So thank you. Back over to you, Kim.
Merci d'avoir participé à notre cérémonie virtuelle. C'est un moment qui marque notre passation et le leadership infirmière partout au Canada. Je suis toute particulièrement touchée par vous toutes qui vous travaillez à l'avancement de notre profession et du système de santé au Canada. Toutes nos félicitations à la promotion des fellows de l'Académie canadienne des sciences infirmières. Nous sommes très fiers de ce groupe de leaders infirmières et avons le travail avec vous pour continuer à développer la profession et influencer positivement les politiques publiques en santé. Bonne semaine à tous. And now to close our time together, I would like to invite Elder Laflamme to bless us all, bless this shared space, and send us on our way until next time. Elder Laflamme?
Hello. Well, I'm, and my grandkids could tell you I'm never speechless, but I really don't know what words could wrap themselves around your amazing accomplishments. Creator, bless each and every one of you. I'm taught that everything we think, everything we say, everything we feel, and everything we do either lifts up creation or it pulls down creation. We don't always think about that, but we probably should. What a deep honor it is. It's humbling, and it's a really deep honor to be here with you, all of you that have done so much to lift up creation. Bless you all. Yes, I see some little things floating up my screen. I think people are agreeing. Yeah, bless you all. Thank you for all that you have done. We'll say a little closing prayer now. And if you don't feel like prayer, just hold a good intention or pray in your own tradition. We give thanks to your grandmothers and grandfathers. We give thanks to you, good Creator. We thank you, great mystery of life. However we may call you, we give thanks to the one that gave us this beautiful gift of life we're enjoying right now. We ask a good blessing on each one of these remarkable human beings. Watch over them, lift them up, keep them safe, bless them on their journeys. And each and every one here in this CNA, and all our nurses and nurse practitioners and every kind of nurse, these healers that are lifting up creation every day. Help us to continue to walk with the inspiration these dear ones have given us, so that we help each and every one, ourselves included, to be healthy and happy and lead a good life and lift up others along the way. Merci for the great honor to be here, for all the places we could be today, that we were given this gift to be amongst our amazing leaders. This is true leadership. Merci Cho, all my relations. I think I spoke about leaders in my opening prayer, our chiefs and world leaders and their responsibilities. And here you are, You're such astonishing leaders. Thank you for who you are and thank you for what you do. Merci, all my relations.
Thank you, Elder Laflamme. We so appreciated your words of wisdom today and for your blessings. I had this amazing sense of kind of peace coming over me as you were speaking. So we really appreciate you joining us today and sharing your well wishes and wisdom. I would like to thank all of you for attending today and for joining us in such a great celebration. I like to ask the 2024 class of fellows to please stay on the call as we'll end the formal part of this evening's fellowship induction. We invite the 2024 class of fellows to stay for a short discussion. Thank you to the CNA fellows in attendance this evening, as well as the community members, family, friends, and colleagues of tonight's inductees. Your presence makes your celebrations even more special, and we deeply appreciate you joining us to honor these outstanding nursing leaders. So thank you, merci, Megwitch, and we hope to see you again in the near future.